On to more local news, Venerable Maduluave Sobita Thero reiterated the necessity to change the executive presidency in the country in Colombo yet again today.
Sri Lanka has a constitution that the entire country refuses. The adverse effects of this is faced by the public. The executive president has limitless power. He cannot be punished for any mistake he makes, and the law cannot be enforced against him. All the judicial appointments are made by the president, and we cannot expect fairness. Therefore, without abolishing the executive presidency, we cannot expect a fair and lawful country. The candidates of the United Lanka People's Party pledged to adhere to their election principles before Mahasangha, including Venerable Maduluave Sobita Thero.
Now let's have a listen to some of the views expressed on the political arena ahead of the Western and Southern Provincial Council polls on our special segment, The Provincial Battle.
You must take responsibility of this election. Certain countries and state leaders who assisted terrorism are today working against the president. Therefore, it is the responsibility of everyone to show the trust they have placed in the president during this election.
After failing everything, now they are saying they have to go to Geneva and they are to be hung or to be placed in the electric chair. They ask for a vote to save them. Today there are no pickpocket thieves in Petar. They have abandoned that act because now there is no point in it. Today the government does that. They steal millions at once. If there is 100 rupees, 70 goes to them.
Today the opposition is saying that they do not need this election, but they will show their might in the general elections. They have accepted defeat even before the results are released. This is today's opposition. Will this opposition that cannot even win a simple election go on to win the general election? This is hilarious.
The current political culture needs to change if this country is to develop. This political culture needs to retire. Your issue will not be solved until they are here. That is why we decided to create a new political force.
I sat in the corner of the party headquarters and watched how everyone was asking for the nominations. I was looking whether the snake girl will also ask for nominations. It is the responsibility of all to ensure that the bitter memories of Kolonnawa do not re-emerge and that dirty politics are wiped off to create a respectable political culture.
This is Kolonnawa. I am not sure what will be fired and lit. Today some of those in the opposition have joined with the international community and are staging campaigns against the country. They cannot win with the votes. They are unable to go to villages and seek votes because of the things they have done. That is why they are using the embassies as scapegoats to gain votes. The election is in the West and the South, but they are in Geneva, England and America.
Politics has become one of the main methods of earning money. Around 30 groups are battling to engage in politics. Their aim is to earn money. It was politics that created nations, and it was politics that will destroy nations.
A magazine was introduced by the Farming Development Office of the Gampha district for the farming community there. Now it was introduced under the auspices of the Deputy Minister of Indigenous Medicine, Pandu Bandaranaike.
Western Provincial Council candidate of the United People's Freedom Alliance, Susara Dinal, was also invited to the event, which was held at the auditorium of the Gampha Pradesh Sabha. When I came here, we realized that this is a celebration of government officials. A number of government officials have arrived here. Therefore, I decided to leave decently because it would be in violation of election laws if I stayed.
And now, still in local news, Democratic Party Colombo district candidate Susil Kindelpitiya met with the residents of the Kolonnav electorate today.
Susil Kindelpitiya met with the people of the Kolonnav electorate today to get to know their difficulties and find solutions to them. Following religious observances, Kindelpitiya began his campaigning of travelling from house to house to meet with area residents. A program to identify problems faced by the public commenced from Kolonnav. We hope to continue this program, and our effort is to bring change to Kolonnav. I believe we have taken the first step to changing the system.
Parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa attended a public rally held in the Amunukola Palace area today.
Vimal Veerawangsa has said that individuals who had been fed mother's milk are protecting the rulers of this country. However, it is these very same rulers that import substandard fertilizer, substandard diesel and substandard cement. The seats of these rulers who fed on mother's milk have heated up, and now they are asking the people to protect them from the electric chair. I would like to kindly request from our rulers to consider where they are before blurting out statements.
Former Western Provincial United National Party parliamentarian Hashan Tilakaratne's wife, Apsari Tilakaratne, obtained membership of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party yesterday. She joined the SLFP following an election rally held in Gotatua. She obtained the SLFP membership from UPFA parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa.
Meanwhile, a gem businessman was shot dead in the Hidalana area this evening. According to police media spokesperson SSP Adit Rona, the shooting took place at 7 this evening. The gem businessman, whose business was based in Ratnapura, had travelled to his residence along with his wife and 2 children. Now, the businessman was shot as he stepped out of his vehicle to open the gate of his house. Now, according to the police media spokesperson, the shooting was carried out by a group that arrived in a motor vehicle. Now, we will have more details and visuals of this story on our website www.newsfirst.lk and on news at 10 on our sister channel Sirsa TV.
In international news, an Indian parliamentarian had used pepper spray in the Lok Sabha and another flung a computer in unprecedented clashes in Parliament, and the controversial bill to create Telangana by dividing Andhra Pradesh was introduced today. 16 MPs have been suspended for disrupting House. Newsfirst Nadim Majid reports from India.
As soon the bill was introduced in the House by India's Interior Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde, 2 sets of lawmakers for and against Telangana rushed to the well of the House. 2 groups of protesters also clashed outside Parliament, and a heavy contingent of police arrived to remove them as a volatile political atmosphere spilled onto the streets. Early, the Parliament was adjourned till noon following a uproar over separate Telangana state and other issues.
Now today in Parliament there were also reports that one of the MPs had smuggled in a knife into the chamber and had attempted to attack other MPs. But of course there is stringent security at the Delhi Parliament, so we are not sure if this report is true. The MP in question claims that he was pulling out a mic. So in Delhi, although the climate appears a little cool, it is actually a political hotbed with elections around the corner and Parliament in its final sessions. Even yesterday in Parliament, when the railway budget was being presented, tensions ran high, MPs almost came to blows, and of course this exploded today. Now we at Newsfirst, of course, continuing to monitor the developing situation here in India ahead of the elections, and we'll keep our listeners and viewers up to date on the latest events as and when they unfold. Reporting from Newsfirst from outside the the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi, India. This is Nadim Majid.
Now getting back to one of our local news stories, former opposition leader of the Devi Nura Pradesh Sabha, Tushar Vijayasuriya notes that UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe is attempting to use the upcoming provincial council polls to secure his leadership. Now he points out that if the party is able to poll a majority of the votes cast, then the current leader will point this out as one of his victories and continue in his capacity.
The former opposition leader of the Devi Nura Pradesh Sabha also points out that in case of a defeat, Ranil Wickremesinghe will hand over its responsibility to the Leadership Council and safeguard his position. Tushar Vijayasuriya adds that if the party suffers defeat during the upcoming polls, a committee will be appointed by the UNP leader to look into the cause of defeat. The UNP is similar to a religion for us. That is why we refuse to leave the party, even though we did not receive nominations. The party is in its current state because of this leader. The UNP is not a party that should suffer defeats each day. However, we continue to lose because of this leadership. Even though the party wants to achieve victory, as long as this leader is there, we won't be able to achieve it. If the party records at least a small increase in the polling numbers, he will use it as his victory and remain in his position. If the party loses, then the responsibility of the defeat will be given to the Leadership Council. He will then appoint a committee to look into it and cover up his agenda of steering the party towards defeat. He created this Leadership Council because he feared that the UNP would lose both the Western and Southern Provincial Council polls. Who is in this council? People who destroyed the party, people who worked against the party, people who drove the party to defeat. These are the people in the Leadership Council. This party had a voter base of 4.8 million. Until Ranil Wickremesinghe is removed, we won't be able to achieve victory. We want to tell individuals wielding cinnamon sticks that we will not allow this party to be destroyed.
The United Kingdom will press upon an international investigation.
Absolutely. In the absence of a domestic process, the UK government at Geneva will call for an international investigation.
There has been many human rights violations in countries like Afghanistan and even Iraq.
First of all, I do not believe there is any concerted action to violate human rights or humanitarian law.
The government took steps to implement the program in line with the 2014 budget proposal. Thereby, a kilo of potatoes, big onions and dried chilies could be purchased for 80, 60 and 350 rupees respectively. Meanwhile, cultivators could purchase a kilo of potato seeds for 160 rupees, while a kilogram of big onion seeds could be purchased for 12,000 rupees. The objective of introducing guaranteed prices is to promote the local market and to provide a reasonable price for the cultivation of agricultural goods.